Right, back to that medical drone delivery use case in Namibia. Here are the sites that are up there in the Caprivi Strip. And look, just look how many of them are right on the border. That stream, that yellow line there is right on the border. So you are definitely playing in the territory of air defense identification zones, accidental cross-border incursions causing diplomatic issues, etc., etc., etc. I suppose we can use the idea that it's an ambulance flight to help clear the way a little bit. So it's quite a complicated use case, this one, really, or potentially quite complicated. Now, they mentioned in their proposal that they haven't got a lot of power. There's not enough power to power freezers, but there's enough power to charge batteries, or so they said. And I think this almost points to one of the problems of any of these things I see, that really the infrastructure, it's just not there in a lot of the places that they need to go. And if we're going to bring a delivery drone into an area, I think we should bring a lot more with us. I think we should bring renewable power. I think we should make sure we then power a little police station, a shop, and of course the clinic itself, and then of course our infrastructure that we need, our hangar or whatever, and our communications infrastructure. We can perhaps have a little bit of agriculture of some sort or other, but just this suppliers deliveries into the wilderness. Yes, it gets the vaccines or whatever it is there, but it doesn't help move the area forward in any way or upskill an area. It's missing a large part of it. Should it be the responsibility solely of the drone delivery company? Perhaps not, but somebody's got to start, hasn't it? So my thought is the easy one. Let's go the easy way. Let's just order a power wall and panels. So there's $14,000 from the US of A. Goodness knows what they would actually cost shipped to Namibia, but that's got to be the easiest way, isn't it? And then added on to that, let's not just bring in a power wall to give just a little tiny bit of energy to places that have none, but let's give them some internet as well. Let's have some Starlink. I don't know why this always wants to refresh. So here's this, not quite sure why there. Oh, there we are. There's a Caprivi Strip. So yeah, look, there's a couple of satellites over there. Of course, we know that that's not ready for release yet. My house is. Oh, I'm down here. I'm on the list for Starlink. So let's give these clinics internet. Let's give them power, and let's be generous with that and give it to the local area as well. I mentioned in the request was also sort of satellite tracking and things like that for the airframes. Well, that's all well and good, but we also need things like ADSB tracking. There won't be any of that there. And now we've done that in the past here. Let's put this slide up while we're talking. We've done it in the past, and we've done that a corridor over 500 kilometers of not just pure ADSB, but mode S as well, multilaterated. So that's quite easy to set up. So we can set that up. And then I'd also, for my own self, my own personal selfness, like some independent tracking. And I would use something called this Meshtastic, which is a great thing. Been stood up by one of the RG Pilot former ground control station devs, and it's for all sorts of things. And that quite simply uses these and smaller ones. But for argument's sake, you could make mesh-based nodes for $44 a node, put an 18650 battery in it, put some charging on it. It's not going to cost you a fortune. So back to this. You know about Vertiport Africa. You know it's kind of a spoof concept, and my friend down here has Vertiport in Changa, another kind of spoof project. But look, that's looking at the distance between he and I, and it doesn't show down there very well, but you can see there's a vertical elevation that we get over. We wouldn't need to get over that in the Caprivi Strip, because it's basically flat. But that's my sort of idea of how would I space out 50, well, call them $100 nodes by the time you add power to them, and then connect them to the internet either end. And then you'll have complete tracking, independent tracking of your airframe that you could possibly put into a UTM as well, all the way along. Of course, a little bit different here in this part of South Africa. We have 4G all along all along this line. So you just put a 4G modem in it and be done with it. You wouldn't need to do this at all. So there's lots and lots of things that we could actually bring to the vertiport element of the whole thing in the Caprivi strip, and it needs to be more than just the delivery drones. The entire system needs to be thought about and make sure it makes sense in that community.